Hello, this is Victor. I'm here with a new battle report, Age of Sigmar this time. It's going to be my Stormcast Eternals together with the Sylvaneth. And this is the first game of a tournament, a small tournament we played in the local shop, in the local age workshop of Brussels. It was a team tournament, just 3 games during the day. Quite a hurry, so we didn't have time to play the full mission. I have to say they are still trying to calibrate what have to be the sizes of the armies and the point cost. If you want more details about the comp used for this tournament and what are the points we use for this tournament, please check in the link in the description below or in the box that you see just here, and there you can have access to the rules. If you have seen this video, let's start now with the armies and the battle. So let's start on the army I use for Stormcast Eternals. As explained, we were able to use the battalion war scrolls. So I use the Thunderstrike Brotherhood that is composed of a Lord Celestial on Drakot, Lord Relictor, 5 Liberators. Then I had a unit of 5 Retributors with two Star Soul Maces and a unit of 5 Prosecutors with Javelins. Then out of the formation or out of the war scroll, I have a Knight Venator. I didn't use allies. I wanted to focus on my Stormcast. I wanted to go for home bases, and yeah, this is the army use. The army of my colleague, he was using a Sylvaneth. I call it Sylvaneth, but it was Sylvaneth with some good elves. Was Dur 2, then a 3-man, 20 Dryads, 10 Wolves, 2 Eagles, Sorcerer, and the Branch Wraith. So 2 Sorcerers, 2 Mages, it's a close combat Sylvaneth / Wood Elves army. So the mission or objectives for this battle, we do standard deployment. So each army is deployed 12 inches from the border, separated 24 inches one from each other. Then we select 3 terrains on the battlefield, and these terrains give these 3 victory points at the end of the battle. In that case, we only use this terrain as a magic terrain. The other ones were just covered. 3 points for killing the general, 3 points to kill a character, 1 point to kill a unit, 1 point to capture a banner, and 3 points to kill the BSB. Killing how we have our army is quite good for that, and yeah, we don't give too many points as we don't have banners in our units. Here just some pictures just when we were setting up and starting to have a view. There are the 3 games together. The tables are 2x2, 2x2, 4x4. Can be a little bit small, but yeah, we play, and the thing for these armies some cases was quite close. Another picture, my back of dice. And let's make first a look to the deployment. So as you can see on the table, I decide to keep my units from the Thunderstrike Brotherhood in reserve. We had a doubt on the writing, and after discussing with the person in the shop, it seems that the way you write it that you can keep any unit you want in reserve from the formation. So it says instead of deployment, a unit can. It's not clear if it. Yeah, we understood that it's any unit that you can keep it in reserve, the way you write it. I just keep the Knight Venator as cannot be deployed in reserve because it's not part of the formation. And we just, as you can see, we are denying completely one flank. We deployed everything from the center to our left flank. This is another overview. We completely neglect the rest of the right side of our battle. We want to focus on taking this objective. The objectives are in this castle here, in a forest in the middle of the table, and a hill at the other side of the table. At this moment, we just put here, we protect our flank with the 3-man in the middle to deal with the cavalry of the opponent, and at this moment we keep the Dryads and the Wolves in that side. And here's how we deployed our enemies. So yeah, they have some Dark Raiders, Corsairs, Loki, and I think was another Dark Elf character. He have a chariot. They have then 10 Cold Blood, 5 Dragon Princes, and then there are some White Lions and some Sea Guard. So yeah, a lot of different units. Don't have. Well, they have some shooting with the crossbows, but yeah, they also have some nice close combat. So it's quite a mixed army. Surprised they are not war machines. The only war machines are chariots. Yeah, now a picture before the battle, and you see they almost use all the deployment zone, and they also have the, I don't know the name, no, the Dark Elf that can infiltrate and have some shooting. Another picture before starting the battle, and we start with the turn 1. So we get the initiative to start, and yeah, and we decide to go first. So at the first turn, I just bring all my army from Azir, and I deployed, as you can see in this flank, in front of the movement of the wolves and the Dryads that come at the back. I just deployed a line of Liberators, a line of Retributors, and my Celestian, my Lord Celestian. They are all exactly 9 inches, and I will try to assault. I have 3 opportunities to try to assault the Dark Riders. I want to limit this cavalry. I don't want to start having a lot of shooting, and I think yeah, they are in good position. If they, depending how they assault my units, most likely they will force the engagement of the units next to them. They are very close, and then just behind me there are the wolves and the Dryads. So if we don't get completely stuck, my idea is then to open way for the rest of the army to pass. As you can see also, my prosecutors just land on the tower, in a position where I can have a good shooting to the enemy, and I also can hold the objectives. And this is the rest, and the other unit of Liberator, I just land them next to the Sorcerer of the Wood Elves and next to my Lord Venator. I will use these Liberators just as a barrier to my opponent can easily go ahead the Sorcerer or the Venator. They have the cavalry in the middle, they are fast. We will also have our 3 men in the middle. There's another overview, and yeah, in the shooting, I tried to do some. The shooting in this first turn was nearly irrelevant. I really flopped all my shooting. I tried to do, I think I did maybe 2 wounds to the Corsairs, and that's all. So then I tried to assault the Dark Raiders, and I failed 3 times. So I was not able to throw any 9 or higher with any of my 3 units. So I completely missed assault, and I just leave my units there. Here another picture of after failing all the assaults. And then we go to the turn of the elves, and he decided to assault with the Corsairs on my Lord Celestian. I was quite surprised on that. He thought that he can take my general quite easily, but by assaulting my Lord Celestian, he also engaged the Liberators and the Retributors, and this is not going to go well for the Corsairs. The chariot of the High Elf with the lions assault my Liberators. The Liberators have a tougher call, being assaulted by the chariot. And the Knights, or the Cold Blood Knights, or the Cold War Knights, I don't know exactly the name, they try to assault the 3 men, and they fail, and they just leave the Dark Elves in the position you see, the High Elves Dark Elves there in the middle. The Phoenix, with the Phoenix Lord, I think it's on top, with a hero on the top, just move straight forward and try to go to engage in the middle of the battle. I think they wanted to solve one of our 3-man. And here is, yeah, our center. We keep our eagles quite safely there at the backward. No clear objective for them. I also keep my knight Venator and the liberators. I try to make to put them in the forest to have some extra protection. So we are really maximizing this forest. Also the sorcerers are next to there. So yeah, but we have the 3-man in front to try to avoid that they are easily assaulted by the cavalry. And here it was at the end of the close combat. Let me go to the next page to be clear. So you see the hand. These are all what I killed mainly with my retributors. The retributors did a lot of damage to the corsairs, and after battle shock, the full unit was completely disseminated. The hero tried to attack my Lord Celestin. He did nothing, or he did 1 wound, sorry, to my Lord Celestin, and I did only 1 wound in return. So we get engaged, and he keep 3 inches from my retributors, so my retributors are still engaged in close combat because they are less than 3 inches from the thing is called Loki. And yeah, and they will need to go to help my Lord Celestin. The liberators, I think I lost 1 against the chariot, and I did nothing to the chariot, but it's okay. The liberators are made to that. For me, I think the liberators is a defensive unit that you use them to screen and to protect your more elites and your more expensive units. This was looking like the battle, so now the wolves have the way free to go behind the Dark Riders, and I think this is going to be the plan. Try to move the wolves through this path that we have between the border and my retributors, and go and attack the Dark Riders and completely control this flank. We go into the turn 2 for the Stormcast and Sylvaneth. And yeah, having this nice target that was the Phoenix, we decided to move the 2-3 men in that direction, Dur2 and the 3 men. We move with the eagles to the middle to try to kill the Dark Elves that are in the forest. And in the side, as I explained, this is at the end of our movement. Before I think this is before the combat. I don't remember exactly. Here the wolves just go and assault and charge, and didn't fail the charge. So what happened during this turn? Let me recap a little bit. You have seen all the movement. You see the Dryads are there behind my Stormcast, and they can go and support this flank even strongly. I keep my Lord Relictor behind. I want to use him to keep giving wound bands to the Lord Celestin, and yeah, so far I haven't need to really expose him. The Venator, so let's go a little bit recap. The Venator, in the middle of the battle, we move the 2-3 men to the middle and to the right flank where we didn't have units. The intention is to assault with the 3 men to the Frost Phoenix, and with the other 3 men, with Dur2, if the distance is good enough, to assault the crossbow men, that are they were on the hill and they just move out. It's dangerous for the 3 men to assault any unit that is completely inside of this terrain, because if he's rolling a 1, he's dying. But yeah, as they put a couple of guys out of the terrain, so we are going to try to assault there. So in the shooting phase, then I use the super arrow of the Knight Venator, the one that can cause d6 plus 3 wounds on a monster. I managed to wound the Frost Phoenix and I left Frost Phoenix with only 1 wound. So I left a very easy job for the 3-man now. He only have to do 1 wound to the Frost Phoenix. So yeah, this is how was looking like. And then in the combat phase, if you go to the next picture here, yeah, in the combat phase, the 3-man completely finishes the Phoenix. I think our first combat was the Wolf against the Dark Riders. We killed some Dark Riders, not all of them. I wasn't expecting that from the Wolves, to be fair. And then he attacked with the Phoenix to the 3-man. I think he did nothing. So I cannot remember. I killed Loki between my Lord Celestan and the Retributors. I killed his hero. The fight between the Liberators and the Chariot, I think that he didn't did any wound to me, or she, because was a woman who was a lady who was managing the High Elves, and I did only 1 wound in return, so we get engaged. And then on the forest, the Eagles completely flop, and I think the Eagle that assault just received 3 wounds in return, so he almost died. But this was and the Durtu completely disseminate the crossbowmen. So very good for us. So Wolf engaged with the Dark Riders in close combat. Lord Celestan and my Retributors now are free in the turn 3 to be able to do what they want. So the thing was going well. The only problem we had is that, yeah, the time was over and my opponent, they didn't even want to play the turn, so we had to stop here the battle. I have seen the strategy was working well for us. Yeah, in the shooting phase, the shooting phase, my prosecutors did exceptional work. I think the javelins, when you hit with between 9 and 18 inches, they are quite strong because you do 2 wounds instead of 1. So I killed 3 dragon princes with my shooting, and yeah, not enough to kill the unit because they had the banner that I think is giving their leadership 10. But I was quite impressed with the damage the prosecutors did in this second turn. So at the end, the battle was finishing here. We couldn't play more turns. It was a pity because it was looking very interesting at this moment. They still have the control of the middle of the board because they have 10 cold ones and 2 demon princes. They also have the wild lions jumping over there in the middle of the deployment zone, and they have another chariot. So they are not over, and the battle was in the most interesting moment, but was a pity that the time was over. As I said, a lot of miniatures moving, and this combat phase was quite long because there were a lot of combats at the same time, and yeah, and the time just ran out. So here another picture at the end of the battle. Here was all the melee. I think here was, I don't know. No, here I already killed Loki. Was at the end of the turn. I really like how the colors of my Stormcast Sylvaneth look like on the board. Yeah, there we have the fight between the Wolf and the Dark Riders. The Wolf won the battle. Yeah, the Wolf were enhanced with the, how it's called this, the Mystic Shield. Here was the combat. As I said, the time was over. At the end, we scored 15 points for the tournament, and our opponents scored 5 points. They scored, although we killed more units than them, they didn't manage to kill a single unit from us. They scored more points because they were controlling 2 objectives at the end of this turn. Yeah, our plan was during turn 1, 2, 3 to do as much damage as possible and focus on the objective in turn 4, 5, 6. It was a miscalculated time. The armies were quite big for this table, and all these combats makes the game go more slower than you think. But at the end was very interesting battle. Yeah, I realize how strong can be the retributors, especially with the Star Soul Maces. They do a lot of damage, and they completely disseminate the Corsairs, and then they kill Loki in the next turn, so they can be very strong. So that's all for now. Please leave your comment below, let me know what do you think. I like how played Age of Sigmar. I'm quite happy with the battle. And as usual, thanks a lot for watching, and see you again later. Bye.